It is frankly unbelievable. We have the Battle of the Marks kicking things off. Two men who love a slugfest in Mark Allen and Mark Selby. Then it's the reigning world champion versus last year's world champion in Karen Wilson and Luca Brissell. Two former world champions in Mark Williams and Judd Trump, who can pop balls at lampshades when they play at their best. And then, quite simply put, two of the biggest global names in all of sport, actually, in Ronnie O'Sullivan and Ding Junhui.
Up first, let's hear it for the reigning Players Champion. It's the Pistol, Mark Allen. The Jester from Leicester, Mark Selby.
It's the Jester versus the Pistol, two of the best match players in the game, but who will prevail in a first of four? Let's find out behind our commentary team of Ken Doherty. But first, Bill Yates.
Bradsy, thanks very much indeed. You know, this is one of those matches where predictions are dangerous. I'm certainly not going to try and suggest who will win. I think the most solid, though, forecast would be it's going to be close. As Jimmy said, they've played 19 times before, and more than half of those meetings have gone to a deciding frame. And one thing I will say, if this match is as incident-packed and eventful and ultimately dramatic as the last time they played in this tournament, I think we're in for a treat.
Yeah, we certainly are, Phil. Went to a black ball finish in the final frame, and what drama there was. Mark Allen doubled it into the middle pocket. But yeah, as Jimmy said, two of the hardest players in the game. Great match players. Know the way around the table. And of course, don't forget, two of the biggest scorers in the game when they in full flow. But it's just trying to, who's going to break down first, particularly in the safety department, who's going to carve out the first chance, and then who's going to pounce and score. That will be the key. Nice target behind Brown here. Brown and yellow would be a good target here. I don't think it's going to be hard enough, but he's okay. He hasn't left anything easy, but there is a possible pot on into this bottom right corner pocket. I just wonder, so early on, will he take the red on and try and bring that cue ball right over the black spot and back around, miss all the reds here? He certainly will. Good start. It's always a good sign for a player when they're knocking in shots like that right into the heart of the pocket. Lovely sound.
Selby's always at his best when he decides to attack. When he goes into his shell, that for me is when he's vulnerable. And to a certain extent, I think that also applies to Mark Allen. He's such a fluent player who can compete with the very best and make a whole series of big breaks. I think when he's on the attack, he's a lot more intimidating than otherwise.
I think that's the key, isn't it, Phil? Who's going to be the more positive of the two players? It'd be very hard for Mark Allen to break down Mark Selby, because he's probably the best in the business, and that part of the game, the strategic part. So he's got to try and attack him when he can, play those aggressive safety shots and try and score himself. But good chance here for Mark Selby. That was a nice little shot, just to put the cue ball in an area and try and get the black on its spot as soon as possible.
Selby made a very solid start last year, or last season in this tournament. He was 3-1 up on Mark Allen, but he couldn't quite slam the door.
Yeah, at times this season, of course, since the British Open, he's looked good, but as he said himself in the little interview, he hasn't really kicked on and really been at the business end. Thought after winning the British Open, that he would sort of kickstart the season and he'll go on to better things. But he has looked good, but has lost a few matches. You would have expected him to win.
Yeah, quite a few matches from well in front. And maybe the seed was planted when he played Allen in this tournament last season, because he's normally a very reliable front runner. Oh, we know when it comes to five backs, he's ferocious.
20.
And I think the good signs so far, and this is very early stages in this break, but already he's looked positive. He's gone into the pack a couple of times, and that's a good sign. He's obviously in a positive frame of mind. He seemed very relaxed before the match. Quite jovial, normally he is. I think, Phil, in this match, I think whoever starts off quick, I think will inspire the other player as well, that they won't get bogged down into a sort of real tough safety battle. This is nice and handy. He's got a little plant here into the right corner. And back.
20 minutes.
Oh, yeah, a little grimace from Mark Selby, and the reason is that the first red of that plant has gone very near the black spot, and it may tie up the black now. Just have a look at the first red he hits. Goes right down onto the black spot.
One specific element of Selby's game, which is absolutely extraordinary, I think, the way he can bridge over a ball and knock them in. But that black is doing Selby no favours. Delicate operation for the referee. He has to put the black nearest his own spot without touching the red.
30. Yeah,
didn't get topside of the blue, so he might just have to drop the blue in and play the red for mid-distance. The black is still potable into the left corner pocket. It's not potable into the right corner, but if you can drop this red in and get on the black, and hopefully with a nice angle can release the red above the black as well. So big shot this. If this goes in, he gets a nice angle on the black, well, it could be a frame winner, even though we're still in an early stage. Yeah, and he's got a lovely angle.
42.
And when he pots the black, just a little cannon on the red, just above the black, and he should be okay. Yeah, just move it away, and that's absolutely perfect. Back in prime position.
In this day and age, if you can win one title in a season, it is a good achievement. even for someone like Mark Selby. He has that title under his belt, as we've talked about. Also, you look at his centuries compiled this season, he's made 30 already. Now, to make 30 before Christmas, that is good going. So all of this talk about him being a grinder, yes, he can be if he needs to, but he's much more than that. He's not one-dimensional at all.
Far from it, Phil. Well, I think he's one of the, if not the best match player that I've ever seen. I mean, that is a big statement. You know, he had the likes of John Higgins and Steve Davis maybe before. Neil very well around the table and could play any sort of game, but this man, for me, I just think he
64.
really has brought it on just a little notch. And when he's in this form, as you say, and that was frame ball, very, very tough to beat. There's only every now and again he just goes into his shell a little bit. He could play a frame like this and then maybe just go into his shell a little bit, but when he's playing like this,
70.
as you said, like he's one of the best scorers in the world, and that's why he's being so successful. But when they go scrappy, he can play that game as well, no problem, with the
70.
best at it.
And surely by the end
81.
of his career, he will get to the 1,000 centuries in pro competition mark. I would say in 3 or 4 years' time, actually.
82.
Here looking for what would be number 852.
$88. Selby, 88, nothing.
Well, that was clinical and quite impressive. Mark Selby with a break of 88, making just the kind of start he would have desired.
Thank you. Second frame, Mark Allen.
Kevin Dabrowski, the referee, announcing the start of frame 2 rather swiftly. The first frame of the day here at the Global Theatre in Boulevard City, Riyadh, lasted for only 11 minutes. You look at their head-to-head, so many conflicting signposts. Mark Allen leads 10-9 overall. In those matches that have gone to a decider, he's 6-4 up. They've played in 3 finals. Selby's won 2 of them. Played twice at the Crucible. Selby's won both. As for quarterfinals, which, of course, this is, Allen leads 6-2. So take your pick. That extraordinary match, and I use the word extraordinary lightly in many respects, but not for this. It really was something else. So we were here in this very arena as Selby went quite routinely 3-1 ahead. He was 54 points in front in the next frame. Alan came back to salvage it. Next frame, Selby was on a break of 42. Mr. Black, he shouldn't have. Again, Alan comes back after a very lengthy battle, shades it on the blue, and then the decider was just full of drama and incident. As Ken said, Alan doubled the black eventually to win the frame after it looked as though he was a certainty to lose it. He also had a good portion of luck in that frame. I remember one outrageous green he fluked. And as a player, Ken, not now, but I think if it went close, and certainly if Selby went in front and Alan fought back, that would be in Selby's mind.
Oh, without a doubt. You always remember certain incidents within the matches that you would have had against your opponent, you know, and there you see that wonderful golden ball. Will we ever see a player this week have a go at it? It'd be quite something, really would. It'd be very, very exciting. Is there a gap? Is there a gap through the reds for this red over the left corner? Doesn't look like it. No, can't pot that.
Pretty much blocked. Just talking about that potential 167. These two have the pedigree. 8 147s in pro competition between them. 5 for Selby, 3 for Alan.
Played that red with an element of safety, trying to screw back into the ball, but he's unfortunate. Kissed another red and knocked it over this right hand corner pocket as we look. We know Selby is already in stroke with that long red in the first, so this shouldn't be a problem. Didn't pot it right into the middle of the pocket, and subsequently doesn't have position on the colour.
So Kevin Dabrowski will be lurking to take the golden ball off the table after the next shot.
Actually, Phil, I was asked a question earlier. Someone tweeted in, if somebody actually, when they're breaking off and they fell, they touched the golden ball with their sleeve. I know it's a foul, but is it 20 points away because it's the golden ball and it's worth 20 points?
I don't know.
I've got you. I've got you.
I don't know, but I would very much doubt it.
I can't believe, Phil, you don't know the answer to that question. Must be one of the very few, Phil.
Well, don't put ideas in players' heads. Just get the golden ball in mid-table to make it easier to pot later on.
I think we'll have to ask tournament referee Jan Verhaas during the interval, maybe. But it's a good question, isn't it? I mean, you would think. Oh, good pot from Mark Allen. Nicely dug out. Nice kiss on the brown. Yeah, well deserved.
What?
Beautifully picked out that one. But yeah, it's an interesting question. I mean, if you fell the pink with your sleeve, it's 6 points away. If you fell the black with your sleeve, it's 7 away. If you fell the golden ball, it should be 20 points away, theoretically. Answers on a postcard, please.
5.
It's a good job we can't be snookered on the golden ball. Miss it 3 times, you're 60 behind. No, we were talking
6.
about Mark Selby, the fact he's made 30 centuries before Christmas. Mark Allen's made 31. He scored heavily as well all campaign. The highlight being a 147 in the British Open, which Selby went on to win. There was a funny story about that, actually. Allen played a match on table 2. He wasn't happy with the conditions, even though he won the match. He actually said the table should be burnt. And the next day, he played on that same table and made a maximum.
Murphy's Law. That's what we call it. Yeah, trying to get the pink on us, but he's actually overhit the cue ball by a couple of inches. He really wanted to be a bit nicer on the pink to get it on the spot, because the black is not available into the left corner. It's not potable into the right corner. So putting the pink on the spot would be a lot more beneficial, but I wanted to be a bit straighter on the pinks and just play for reds either side of the pink spot. That's why he's taking the yellow now. You may see him try and get back up for blue or pink. Just put the cue ball in an area. And if he goes a little bit too far for the blue, he'll have the pink. And this looks a lot better. Perfect.
21. 22. 28. 29.
Yeah, this is certainly not an easy break, and that's all because that black is not available into either corner pocket. He's having to work hard for this. Love to get one of these reds left or right of the ball. Oh, wow. Took his eye off the pot, concentrating on position there. I was going to say, love to get one of these reds left or right of the black, but that's what he was concentrating on. Took his eye off the pot. It's a cardinal sin for a snooker player.
What?
On his own admission, Allen's been experimenting with his game. He's not been happy with it, and he's been trying out different methods, different thoughts, but sometimes you can confuse yourself a little.
I just put a little circle up there, Phil, and I think if Mark, I'd love to get the cue ball into an area somewhere around there, just for this red into the right corner. That would open up the black into both pockets. Oh, just a little bit short.
6.
He would have loved to have stayed on the black, but the
7.
angle, I couldn't do that. But he's okay. Top side the blue. Play for the loose red near the left-hand side cushion.
Sure. 12.
Yeah, once again, he wants to be finishing low on this black, so he's got a nice angle. So anywhere in that circle would be good. Just overhit it, I think. I don't think the angle is great to go into the 3 reds above the black now. There you see it. It's not a great angle, so that's a poor shot from Mark Selby.
Now, these are the kind of shots at top level, if they're going in regularly, you're going to be very tough to beat. They hold breaks together.
Selby, 20.
Well, playing it like that, the only red he could leave was the one he went for, and he hasn't left it, but he'll still leave the table a wee bit disappointed.
Oh, he's had a right result there. He's left the red into this left corner, but it could have been a lot easier. Bit of a test of this. Require good cueing. Oh, that's lovely. That's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful long pot. Didn't try and bail out and try and get that cue ball back to the bulk area. Just held the cue ball for the black, and well, couldn't have played any better.
Right.
That opening red, it's the kind of shot that injects confidence, makes a player feel good.
Yeah, very similar to the opening red
16.
from Mark Selby in the first frame. Yeah, just looking at the score, 24 ahead. So red and black, 32. He's going to need one of these difficult reds.
17.
The top red of the two, it does pot into the left corner pocket, but he's got to get on it nicely. And that looks pretty good. So just trickle the cue ball through for that red. Can't go too far, doesn't want to block himself with the pink. And could have played it a little bit better than that. So this is
20.
well, you would say virtually frame ball, but it's certainly far from easy. I think he has to play this with a little bit of pace. He's going into the other red, so he has to play it maybe with a little bit of pace if he wants to get back out for the black. He could take the chance and play for the pink, but he's not absolute 100% guaranteed to be on the pink. That's what's just sort of going through his mind at the moment. Would frame ball this, you would say, if it goes in.
So just the black needed to leave Mark Selby requiring a couple of snookers. No mistake, and respecting Selby's abilities to enjoy great escapes in frames, Alan will lock the door here, staying the white in behind the black.
Mark Allen, 32.
Well, going back to that earlier question, just to clear things up, and I asked Phil if you foul on the golden ball, apparently Stephen Hallworth has reliably informed me through Ivan Hercevich, who's the press officer for World Snooker, that it's just a £4 penalty. I don't agree with it.
So what you're saying, Ken, is I was right.
But you didn't know, Phil. You didn't know.
I didn't know,
guessed.
but I
guessed.
guessed.
Was a guess.
But I guessed right.
You guessed right. It's not the same. You get a half a point for that.
Okay, 3/4.
Try to block the red using brown and yellow, but he's come up short. Mark Selby. You could possibly have a go at this red and try and play a snooker at the same time. But you're always wary, even against Mark Selby. He needs 2 snookers. You don't want to give him any easy chance, and he's not taking a chance on going for the pot.
Just to give you some idea of how close their previous meetings have been. Just wait for the shot. In he goes. So he's going to win this frame, Mark Allen. That means he's won 107 frames against Mark Selby. Selby's won 109 against him. So Allen, well aware that what you don't do is keep these frames going when Selby's got a chance to lay snookers. Just kill them off as quickly as you possibly can. Because even if you win them and it's a real battle, that can sap mental energy.
Yeah, I think that's important. You know, you don't want to use up unwanted sort of energy and reserves. You know, keep them, because if this match does go a little bit close, you want to have them for maybe the final frame. So yeah, get the frame over and done with. Don't want to be messing around for snookers. 10 or 20 minutes. He missed the brown, but he won't be bothered.
This is the 5th match of the tournament so far, and it will be the first that doesn't result in a whitewash. That's because the first 2 frames have been shared. It did not take a genius to work out that this match would be keenly and possibly closely contested. That's the impression we're getting so far. Mark Selby winning the first frame rapidly with a break of 88. A scrappier second frame falling to Mark Allen.
I shouldn't really tell you.
No, definitely you can you?
No, I can't tell you. That's what I'm saying.
Secret, is it?
Now, is
Sorry?
Mark Selby asking the same question that
Yes.
you were asking about the golden
Third
ball?
frame. Mark Selby to break.
Whether it would be a penalty if he touched it. I don't know, it's purely a guess, but maybe that was the case because he pointed towards the golden ball as they were beginning their discussion.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure, and the referee said, well, he can't tell him, but that's an unusual answer from the referee. I thought you could ask the referee almost anything. I know you can, for some of the players who are colourblind, they can ask the referee which is the brown and which is the red. If the brown is sort of in the bunch of the reds or close to a red, and they can't decipher which is which, and they're allowed to ask the referee then.
Also, when there's a high break up for grabs, you can ask the referee what the high break is to that particular point. Sometimes the referee doesn't always know.
Yeah, and another bit of trivia is that when you place the ball in the D, you can ask the referee, is it in the D or is it over the line, just to make sure as well. And the referee should be able to tell you that as well. I'm sure that is the rule. So it'd be interesting to see what Mark was asking a referee.
I don't think it was a major point, but it was. Not Selby-esque, that safety shot, in and out of balk. Well out. And red left.
Yeah, and on Selby-esque, as you say, it's a couple of safety shots now, of course, in the previous frame as well.
One.
Ooh, good pot. Yeah, just stopped in his tracks. Needed that cue ball just to bounce off the top cushion. Cued it in beautifully, but just needed to bounce off the cushion just an inch or two. Have a nice angle on the black. Now, of course, the black still pots, but you can't disturb the red that's on the black spot, I don't think. Digging down would be quite dangerous, very, very missable.
Yeah, doing nothing at all with the cue ball. This is a horrid shot to take on.
Well, that's amazing, isn't it? Once he potted that red, you thought, okay, I'm going to be on the black here, I've got a chance. And now, well, he was looking at leaving the cue ball in the bulk area, but well, this is missable. If he takes the black on, it's certainly missable, particularly digging down on the cue ball. No, he's played that very well, and he's knocked the red off the black spot.
8.
You have to applaud A, the execution, and B, the enterprise. Now, this is when Mark Allen's at his best. When he avoids being defensive in favour of what he's best at, which is entertaining, electrifying, scoring. Because his cue ball control, when he's in a nice rhythm, is excellent. Yeah, that black was one of the best shots of the tournament so far for me.
Yeah, nice shot. But also, I think he's only played the black and knocked the red off the spot because of the prize for the 167. I think if he was in a tournament, another tournament that wasn't such a prize, I don't think he might have played the same shot. But now all of a sudden, he's got a really good chance here. He's got another five reds out in the open at least, maybe 6 reds, without making any sort of cannon into the reds and trying to develop anything. So he's got another maybe 40, 48 points. Can stay on the black, and then it would get really interesting.
20.
Such a good score. He's got great cue ball control. And he'll be staying on the black for as long as he can, no doubt about that.
And let's not forget, right at the start of this year, he beat Mark Selby 6-5 in the quarter-final of the Masters, making, in the third frame, a 147. This is frame 3 here.
Oh, he just played to
32.
nudge into that red, just missed it. Well, he sort of grazed off the red, but needed a full ball contact. Okay, you can still pot this red. Left to the blue, in and out of balk, back up for the black. Lots of left-hand side. Avoid the yellow. He's played it nicely. It's going to bounce off this top cushion. It needs to bounce. It needs to bounce.
33.
Could have done with a little bit more pace.
Only 10 pots, Ken, but the pulses are racing. And this break, and his approach to it, underlines the enticement of that $1 million.
I think he's got a chance, Phil. There's no doubt about it. There's another red at the bottom of that bunch. There you see it. That's available. He can peel that off. And he's purposely finished nice and low. So this is a big shot. He pots this red. He's going to go into the other reds. He could bring the other 5 reds into play here. Big shot this. Lots of topspin. And it's perfect. It's perfect. Great shot. Now we're on. We are definitely on here.
Normally against a player of Mark Selby's calibre on 56, in a position like this, Allen would take his medicine, play for another colour, win the frame.
He's just come up slightly short. He wanted to be straighter on this red. There, that's the angle he's got. Now, can he hold the cue ball? The red right of the pink, is it available into the yellow pocket? If it is, he could take it on. Now, what is he looking at? Potting the red, going in and out of bulk.
57.
Well, he could hold it, and he's made a good fist of it. They're getting excited. Sure, Mark is as well. Oh, would you believe it? Hold on, hold on. The black's not finished. It's still going. Get in. Get in. Get in. Well, can you believe it? Is that... This could be the fluke of the century, Phil.
Wow.
Is it written? Is it in the stars? He's got a lovely angle on the black. He could go into the two reds around the pink, but what a fluke that was. Oh, no. No, no, after all that.
Mark Allen.
And the point is,
65.
also, he's not done enough to win the frame. Doubly gutted, Mark Allen. I can tell you, knowing Mark, that wasn't a result of guilt. It was more a lack of concentration. And now, what an opportunity for Mark Selby to steal this from nowhere. Funnily enough, in the commercial break, we were talking about the highest ever break to lose a frame. It was 80. So 65, nowhere near enough to get it done. Also in the Saudi Arabia Snooker Masters, the World Ranking event here in early September, the Thai player Tepchaya Anu made a 78 break and lost that frame.
Yeah, hard to believe, isn't it? But, I mean, the chance he had there, Phil. Look at the reds. I mean, he'd be... Well, that will be going through his mind. He won't be worried, okay, if he does lose the frame, at least he went for it. He had a chance at it, but he'd be kicking himself for missing that easy, straightforward black. Did all the hard work, got the fluke. This could be very important now. If the pink goes on the spot, that means that red. Well, if the pink goes on the spot, that means that red may not be potable. Now, he's tried it twice already. Looks like there's plenty of room. Now, the red may be only potable into the middle, left middle pocket, but I don't think it's potable into this bottom right corner. No, it's definitely not. So, it's not completely straightforward for Mark Selby.
8.
Well, now, has he got an angle on the pink here? When potting the pink, he might be able to... Yeah, he has. He's okay. He's played that nicely, that little positional shot. He'll just brush into this red, bring it into play, move it away from the pink. Just like that. And now he's back in prime position. Well, that's another great chance. I mean, we saw a couple of chances already, Phil, with Zhang Ande. But that was a wonderful chance, wasn't it? And I thought maybe after that outrageous fluke that maybe it might have been sort of written in the stars that he was going to make it.
15.
I think we have to put into perspective the pressure the guys are feeling when they've got a chance of a 147/167. It would be the largest prize in snooker history. It would outstrip the first prize at any World Championship.
22.
Well, meanwhile, Mark Selby still in a very good position here.
Now
he'd like to, when potting this pink, does it anywhere but straight. anywhere but straight on this next red. You've got to leave a nice angle that when he pots the red, that he's going up past the blue, and a nice angle to get back on the red below the pink. That looks just about perfect.
See.
Well, it was perfect, but he didn't hit right through the cue ball there. He needed to be top side of the blue, and he's left himself, well, there you can see it dead straight. So he can't get close to the next red.
What a crucial pot this is.
35.
This is a real crunch ball.
I think if he gets this red, it should be frame ball. Good pot, needs to slow up.
36.
That's absolutely perfect. Yeah, that was a good shot. And now the 6 colours will remain after this blue. And what a steal. And in the best of 7, frames like this are absolutely huge, Phil.
43.
And where the balls were when he came to the table, there was a sense of inevitability about this.
46. See.
It should be second nature, but with a vitally important frame on the line, sometimes these situations get out of hand. Can't imagine this one will, though. Not now.
Yeah, for all his great attributes, I think one of the best ones is his temperament. Time and time again, he's come up with clearances like this in his career.
61.
And this is going to be another one. A great steal from Selby here. Black for 2-1.
Everything that glitters isn't gold. No million, no frame for Mark Allen. Instead, Mark Selby leads 2-1. Welcome back to the Riyadh Season Snooker Championship, where Ken Doherty, we've just seen an extraordinary frame.
Well, that could have been, well, one of the flukes of the century had he gone on and made the 167. Look at this again. Have a look at this. Nice little kiss off the red into the yellow pocket. And as you can see, the situation of the reds, it was perfectly on, wasn't it? And then this happened out of the blue, Phil. Never expected that.
You know, as Mark Allen was on that break, particularly after the fluke, I was thinking about Mark Selby, you know. A few years back, he made a 147 in the Champion of Champions, and he came off the table wondering how much he'd won, and he was told nothing. He's never let us forget it. That would have rubbed salt into the wound. Now, Allen's got to forget about that frame and just get on with the task of winning the match.
Yeah. It was a double whammy for him, really, wasn't it? You know, missing the black and then losing the frame.
Normally it's the player who loses a frame like that who leaves the arena to gather his thoughts. In this instance, it is Mark Selby.
If there's no Mr. No, we'll just stay there. Yeah, so we can just move it away.
I think this is another golden ball question, Ken. It's on everyone's mind.
Yeah. Well, there are a few anomalies, aren't there? Just with this extra ball on it, that are going to crop up.
You would like to have them replaced, or just...
Say, like, just for instance, like altercation, break it off,
Yeah.
and leave the white, get a break it off position.
Yeah.
If you don't touch the cue ball with your tip, then the frame doesn't start.
The frame doesn't
so it wouldn't
start,
be
yeah.
foul.
Yeah.
And
So,
it just stays wherever you move it.
yeah. So what he's asking is that if he addresses the cue ball on the break, if he moves the golden ball without actually touching the cue ball before he breaks, the frame doesn't actually start until you touch the cue ball. So it's no foul. But if he addresses the cue ball with the tip and touches the cue ball and brings the golden ball off the ball cushion, well, then that is a foul. And that's exactly what he's trying to clear up with the referee. So theoretically, Phil, when you're breaking off here, you could purposely bring the golden ball into play, give a foul. It's not, you're only giving 4 points away, and the golden ball is off the ball cushion. Theoretically. Another little anomaly.
Quite a few times we've seen Mark Allen not happy with something on his cue. He's certainly not happy with something on the scoreboard. 2 frames for Selby when it should have been 2 for him. It really is remarkable, actually, all the way through last season's tournament and so far in this, the golden ball resolutely remaining where it is not right now. Very rarely any kind of contact or movement. And I think it's a real balancing act, Ken. You don't want to become too fixated with a 167. There's a match to be won. That's the chief priority.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's a tournament, a match to be won, tournament to be won.
What?
I mean, one of the greatest break builders if not, of course, the greatest break builder that's ever lived. Ronnie O'Sullivan, he went on to win the tournament last year and never really had a sort of a proper go at the 167. Don't think he came really close.
No, we've had more realistic opportunities already this time around than at the inaugural tournament. And maybe this could develop into another.
8.
No problem potting the red, but very difficult to stay in the black here. I mean, you're trusting a little bit of luck here. You play with a lot of pace. He's going into reds. He could go into the black here as well. Not really 100% sure where the cue ball's going, is he? Yeah. Very difficult. Could have possibly played that with a bit more pace and just taken a bit more of a chance. But let's end the break.
Yellow ball. Column 9.
It was a minuscule contact, but it was a contact. No foul announced by Kevin Dabrowski. I'm sure we'll see it here.
Not a great contact on that red. He's left it for Mark, certainly far from easy, middle of the table. Blue being off a spot makes it, he can't hold for the blue, but he can try and screw back for a ball colour. But yeah, no problem. Once again. Didn't go into the middle of the pocket, that red. I think if I had have done it, it might have been on the yellow a little bit better. Just watch where the red finishes as it goes into the pocket. Sort of went into the left-hand side. He's taking the shallow on. Hiding the cue over here. Very aggressive. Oh, this is lovely. Look at this for a shot. Have a look at this for a shot. Needs to run. Great effort.
Frame.
You saw there just how narrow the pocket entrance was for the red. So Selby, quite correct, quite sensible to keep it tight. No point taking a risk, Ken, when there's no reward.
close with the pot, but always had that element of safety. So you have a look at this red again. Look where the cue ball, where he was hiding the cue ball, and sort of the clever side of Max Selby's game. Good safety return from his opponent, Mark Allen, who certainly knows his way around the table as well. Really turned into a really tough match player, but very knowledgeable when it comes to safety and angles and hiding that cue ball in the balk area. This is going close. He's okay.
Mark Selby's won 23 world ranking titles. A fine haul indeed, including this season's British Open, when he overcame Mark Allen in the semi-final. 6-3, went on to beat John Higgins for the title. Allen also in double figures in terms of ranking titles with 11. Now, without setting myself up for a fall, this is where Selby excels. Now, that for him was quite a straightforward shot. But when it comes to escaping snookers and leaving nothing on, I think he's the greatest ever.
Yeah, I think so. So John Higgins are certainly very close. I just probably shade Selby a little bit more. He's just such a really clever player. And also laying snookers, getting out of them, as you say. Of course, he was world pool champion as well, wasn't he? And let's not forget that. You have to be very tactically astute to be able to compete at the highest level in that sport as well.
Yeah, English 8-ball rules on a very small table, which is, as you say, a highly tactical game. I'd love to see him try his hand at 9-ball on the World 9-ball Tour. That would be a terrific watch. I think he'd do well, Selby. I think he'd adapt really quickly.
Doesn't want to hide the cue ball behind the green and leave a free ball. And well, he's left a free ball. Wow. Free ball. So can you believe it? So careless from Mark Selby. Could have played a straightforward. I mean, we've been building them up about such a good safety player, but well, that was a shocker. Gifted Mark Allen a chance from nowhere.
Yes, often you can leave a free ball at that end of the table and it's no use whatsoever. This one could be very valuable.
Six. So.
And I think the last shot from Selby just emphasises how precarious top-level snooker is. Everything can be going decently, reasonably, and then one shot switches everything all around.
Let's see.
He was playing a very thin safety, so the miss of the red was, I suppose, a occupational hazard. But to leave a free ball, that was the damaging aspect.
Yeah, just a very careless shot, wasn't it? He could have played a containing safe shot, waited for a better chance to get the cue ball back to balk. But I mean, it could possibly cost them the frame, that one shot. And it wasn't like he was really in a lot of trouble. He wasn't. There was certainly lots of alternatives. So, yeah. Will he take the opportunity? Nice angle on the black into the pack of reds. Oh, could have hit that a little bit harder. He's okay. I mean, he could have played it with a bit more pace. A little bit tentative on that. Now, is he hampered slightly with that red, or can he get enough of the cue ball? I think just about he can get enough. But could flick too much side on it. Got to be careful. He's played it well. Played it well.
I think being left-handed actually helped there.
Would you believe it? Got into the cue ball way too much there. Well, he's run out of position and the break. So a let off for Selby.
Yeah, the other problem with that shot, he caught the black very poorly, even though he potted it. Had that gone into the centre of the pocket, he might have been okay.
Column 38.
I think he's just about on this red. So another safety error from Mark Selby. As I say, we're not used to seeing these errors from him. Only the strong part of his game. But, well, you would expect this time. 49-point lead. Good long pot success from Mark Allen, 5 from 5.
And as you alluded to, Ken, Selby's safety success, only 71%. Oh, another instance where Allen's unable to nail down the frame. It's a lengthy journey back into the frame for Mark Selby, of course it is, but if he can win this one from here, it would take some doing for Mark Allen to get off the floor.
Colin.
Well, when you're 56 ahead and you tie the black up, it's no bad thing. Selby incentivized to free up the black, but at what cost?
Well, this is 4 chance, I think, in this frame, Mark Allen.
So,
Should be home and hosed here. A couple of reds just to make sure that Mark Selby doesn't come back to the table.
8.
64 ahead. Blue will put him 69 with 67 remaining, but as I said, he wants a few with a couple of these reds just to stop Selby coming back. So decent response after losing that last frame.
Let's see. Let's see.
Sometimes head-to-heads between a couple of players mean nothing at all. It is going to be a blueprint for the match to come, and that's certainly the case here. Are we going to have yet another decider between Mark Selby and Mark Allen? Well, they're certainly on course. It's 2-2. The venue is the Global Theatre in Boulevard City, Riyadh. The tournament is the Riyadh Season Snooker Championship. A first prize of £250,000 on offer.
5.
And of course, $1 million for someone who makes a 167, a 147 plus the golden ball you can see there. This is the first quarter-final of this world-class invitation event. And who's to say which player will come through? No real idea yet. Selby's had the 2 highest breaks of the match, but he's got nothing to show for them. Now that was pure class. What a shot from Mark Allen. Not just the pot, which was top-notch in itself, but look at the position on the highest value ball on the table.
Eight.
This is, I know, a ridiculously early call, but if Mark Allen goes on to make a max here, that opening red will be replayed and replayed again. Brilliant it was. Didn't get the necessary punch on the cue ball to leave the red straighter.
16.
Normally, you wouldn't bat an eyelid. You'd just say, well, up for the blue, and on he goes. And I think sometimes you have to prioritise the frame.
17. $22. $23.
Oh, he hit the reds absolutely perfect, but look,
28.
knocked the pink safe. He's hit the pink full ball. That's exactly what he wanted. But he's knocked the pink safe. He's knocked the black onto the cushion. But on the plus side, he's knocked plenty of loose reds out.
$29.
I don't think he'll go into the reds here. I think he might just try and screw off a couple of cushions here. Or maybe try and hold the cue ball even. He's trying to play off a couple of cushions. Need to avoid those reds and pink. But he was always going to be on this red into the right centre. Or left centre, I should say. And he's even on this red just above the black spot.
$35.
Doesn't have to really worry about the black and pink. There's plenty of loose reds and he can accumulate enough points here. Just would have been a lot easier had the black particularly been on the spot, but he's okay.
40. $41. $46. $47.
Trying to get in and win a frame in one fell swoop for the first time today. Also trying to hit the front for the first time after falling 1-0 and 2-1 down as he's taken off by a ringing mobile phone.
$52.
Not a clean pot. Almost undercut that red, and that's why he's short on the blue.
Got a little glancing blow off the green, but it didn't really disrupt his position. 58 points. The lead, another couple of reds and colours should do it. Oh, again, not in the middle of the pocket.
59.
And considering the frame that he lost, where he made 65, missed that easy black, and he went 2-1 down, he's really responded excellently here. Mark Allen
60.
shown a lot of character, as you would expect.
I think this is the 4th time we've seen Mark Allen do this with his cue. Must be some kind of fibres on there, Ken.
I think it's just some fibres that are coming off the carpet, maybe just sticking to the cue, the butt end of the cue, but not a major concern.
60.
Well, frame ball is in. Mark Allen 65 to the good with 59 on. He'd like this green and one more red to make absolutely sure.
$68. $69.
Even though he's a fighter, Mark Selby, can't imagine he'll come back to the table now. Needing 5 snookers. No way after that.
76. Okay. 76.
At 9 minutes, that was the quickest frame of the match so far, with a break of 76. Mark Allen takes the lead for the first time at 3-2. Is Mark Allen about to secure a semi-final meeting with Ronnie O'Sullivan or Ding Junhui, or
6.
for the 11th time in 20 meetings between these two, will it go to a deciding frame? We started the match, Ken, with all of the talk, quite understandably, about a 167. Now it's very much get the win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talked about the match they had in this corresponding tournament. Well, it was actually earlier in the year, wasn't it? It was around March time, the inaugural Riyadh Masters 167 tournament, where these fought out a really tough 4-3 match. Well, there's another, once again, Mark Selby's safety today. Okay, he's got cover, but it'd be interesting to see the safety success. I'd say it's well below what you would expect, Phil, from Mark Selby. Right down 68%. Well, there, that tells a story. He's been really poor in that department. He's been lucky on this occasion. But a few times already where he's normally so sound. I mean, we spoke about, you know, the tactical awareness that he has and astuteness. But today, it's been error-strewn in that department. 68% is so low for him. Normally, well, you want it sort of high 70s, mid 80s if you can. doesn't want this going close to this corner pocket. He's okay. He's played it nicely. Thought it might have been. Now, has he got the cover? Looks like he's got cover on the blue. And this puts Mark Selby in a precarious position here, because if he tries to play a safety shot, get the cue ball, back the ball, very hard to hide that red. Can he play off the cushion? That's what he's looking at. Play off the cushion, just try and clip the red and try and pot it, but that would be extremely dangerous if it didn't go well. It could cost him frame and match. I've just put a line in there. This is exactly what he's, I think, trying to play. Cushion first. Just clip the red on the left-hand side as we look. The red is not exactly in the middle of the pocket, so here we go. This has to be so precise. It wasn't. And, well, it's a straightforward plant, is it? Into the, yeah, he just had to hit it on the left-hand side, and that's how he almost, well, that's why he did miss it. Tough shot, that. He's left the plant, and the black is available as well, so what a chance. Doesn't want to pot the two reds here. No, he didn't.
And there I was saying it's all about the win, and suddenly Alan has got a real chance in and about the black. Ball's already pre-developed. The mindset here, first of all, he has to get the match won. Then he can literally go for gold. Alan looking for his fourth semi-final of the season after the British Open, UK Championship and Scottish Open.
Seventeen.
And if he won this match, he would be on a guarantee of at least £75,000, which would be his biggest payday of the campaign so far.
Well, I must say, okay, frame a match would be on his mind, but at the back of his mind, the way the reds are situated is no development needed, just try and keep a good cue ball. I mean, stay on the black for as long as he likes here. The one sort of may become the difficult red is the one that's next to the green, getting back up for the black, but still
32.
Not a problem for someone of Mark Allen's class. He's going to need extended rests and extension here. The two reds that are close to the right-hand side cushion, I mean, for a left-hander, slightly awkward, but even then, if he gets behind him, it shouldn't be a problem. So, another good chance here. And the one, there's no doubt that 167 will be on his mind.
16.
Well, he's underhit that, and that's it. Oh, he'd be so disappointed. Okay, he's not going to be able to go for the 1-6-7 now. He's just going to play for the pink, but another few inches towards the pink with that cue ball, and he was perfect on these two reds to get back for black. He can't do that now. He'll play for pink and try and consolidate the frame and indeed the match.
And looking on the bright side, that might actually do him a favour, because the pressure of making the 1-6-7 has now been alleviated. All he's thinking about is getting enough points on the board to get the victory under his belt.
$47. 48.
I can hear some music being played in the room somewhere.
I think it's outside, Phil. There's a lot going on outside.
Ah, right. I think Mark Allen could also hear it.
55.
He stepped away from that previous shot.
Of course, we've got
56.
the big World Heavyweight Championship fight here in Boulevard City, not far from the Global Theatre here. So plenty of excitement as we get towards the weekend. The final here tomorrow night, and then of course the big fight on Saturday.
61. $62.
It's been a good match, hasn't it? I mean, it hasn't been long bouts of safety. It's been good quality break building from both players, and played very fluently as well.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I don't think Mark Selby can be too disappointed if he does lose, which now looks overwhelmingly likely. But remarkably, after clearing up with 68 from 65-0 down in the third frame to go 2-1 up, since then he's scored 3 points. And I think that will be his lot. What a turnaround from Mark Allen. Allen, who will now improve his career head-to-head record against Mark Selby to 11 wins against 9 losses. That's an achievement in itself, Ken.
Yeah, not many players on the circuit would have such a good head-to-head against Mark Selby. That red is not going in.
Mark Allen, 75.
Knowing Selby, he will carry on, and rightfully so. There are 5 reds left, therefore 67 on the table. That means 2 snookers needed, well within his capabilities. That, though, not what he wanted. At least the reds come away from the pocket. has to drop on a colour. It's essential he knocks in this pink. Anyone else, you'd say, well, this is a forlorn hope. But you never know with Mark Selby. Escapologist extraordinaire.
Yeah, absolutely.
7.
What is he? 68 with 59. So he basically needs 3 snookers. 2 snookers, possible free ball. That'd be right. 67. This would be 60. Maybe, well, 1 snooker and a free ball would be enough. But a very tall order. But there's no doubt if anybody could do it, it's definitely this man. Yeah, 60 behind, 51 on the table. So
16.
he could do with 1 more red-black after this black. And you just never know. Good shot. Take the inside red, the red that's closest to the
23.
to the cushion. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now, pot the black. Maybe, what will he be? 44 behind. You could put the red behind the black, but I think knocking the red up into the bulk area, try and get it close to a bulk colour and try and get that cue ball tight behind the black. That would be a possibility. Let's see which way he goes about this. Yeah, I think that's what he's going to try and do.
And of course, we always say a certain player needs a certain number of snookers, but they need good snookers, don't they? Troublesome snookers.
Yeah, he really needs, when he knocks this up into the bulk area, just, well, he's trying to get it close to the blue, but he needs it in such an area that if Max Allen does miss, that there is a chance of a free ball. There's no chance of that really here. Okay, he's got a good snooker, but it's only off 1 cushion. I think I would have preferred the red somewhere in the bulk area, behind the bulk colour, but also that cue ball really tucked up closer to the black. Now, it is missable, but you don't expect it off 1 cushion. These players are just too good. You really have to be a much more difficult snooker than that.
Let's just make one assumption here, which is that Mark Allen wins. Remarkably, it would then mean these two have played 220 frames over the years, and it's 110 each. Nicely matched or what?
Well, that was a big mistake from Mark Selby. Yeah, we could just, I mean, the ideal thing here is to, well, either try and snooker Max Selby or try and just knock that red over the hole. I mean, even if he does pot a red and a black, he's still going to need 3 snookers. So, yeah, knock it over the corner pocket. Oh, well, he's a long way away.
Working on the premise that it's not just getting the snookers but then making the clearance. At least Allen putting the yellow safe is another insurance policy.
Just wondering, can he possibly get right behind the yellow here? Lots of drag, get right in behind the yellow. Would be pretty tough. Needed to block the path off the left-hand side. Well, Well, there you can see there's there's a hair on the cue ball.
That's close, I'm sorry.
It's just so close that the referee can't get the ball marker at it. Can he get it from the other side? You might have to play it with the hair on it. He doesn't like it. He still should hit it. Again, once again, it's like, it's a big target, the red. Oh, he's missed it. He's missed it.
Foul.
Well,
Mark Selby.
that is a surprise.
Dare I say, he missed it by a hair's breadth. And will Selby's bald ambition get the frame won? Still unlikely.
Yeah, it's a bit of a head scratcher, that one, wasn't it, Phil?
We've got to stop there.
Now, can he knock this red into the bulk area and get it right behind the black? Look at this for a shot. Look at this for a shot. Now, that's what I'm saying. When you get it close to the black, you see he stopped the pathway off the left-hand side cushion because he's close enough to the black. Off the right-hand side cushion, the blue could be in the way. Now, this is more difficult. Can he swerve around the black and hit the red? Another inch closer to the black, and wow, that would have been really tough. But now he has Mark Allen under a bit of pressure. This is not straightforward.
And the thing with Selby is this is not an isolated incident. All of the players on the tour know that if they miss even given a very stern examination.
Like swerving, trying to miss the brown. All the Seidl's going to take. Oh, what a shot that is. What a wonderful shot. And that was a very, very good. It's hard to believe they can't afford 2 rests over here in Saudi, Phil. Oh, this is a nice line, is it? This is a nice line. It may be very close. Oh, a little bit softer. A little bit softer of a kiss. It would have been very, very difficult. He's okay. It's an easy swerve. Shouldn't be a problem. But once again, he's really putting Mark Allen to the test here.
I'm not saying Mark Selby relishes this kind of position. Of course he doesn't. He doesn't want to be involved in a frame where he needs multiple snookers. But there's no one better equipped to fight on. Mostly players are so disillusioned to find themselves in this kind of predicament that they have no fight left. Selby has abundant fight.
This could go wrong. Digging down on the cue ball. Very hard to have control. Okay. That's not too bad. He'll settle for that. But he could be in trouble after his next shot. It's a straightforward shot here for Mark Allen. Clipping off the red. Getting that cue ball down the line. Close to the green. Using the green and the yellow as blockers and possibly laying the snooker here.
Can you imagine if you're a lower ranked player, a rookie, up against this, on the verge of beating Selby, and he's putting you under all of this pressure? Of course, Mark Allen well used to it.
Yeah, but it's it's never over. It's still, even though you're 40 points ahead as Mark Allen is, he's still just wanting that red It disappeared. Couldn't go for it that time, but played a decent snooker himself, and that's what you have to do. If you can't pot it, make sure that you don't leave it straightforward for your opponent to lay a snooker. It's not a difficult hit, this. Yeah, just possibly two cushions here, maybe one cushion. It's going over the corner pocket, is it? Is it going over the corner? It is, and the handshake comes.
Yes, Mark Selby knows when he's beaten. He was 2-1 up and playing nicely, but then Mark Allen turned on the style. A break of 75 to clinch. He's into the semi-finals of the Riyadh Season Snooker Championship by a score of 4 frames to 2. The world number 4 defeats the world number 5. Chinese players. So plenty of good stuff in that match. We had a couple of authentic chances of a 147 stroke 167. Mark Selby made the better start. Mark Allen had the disappointment of missing out on 147 when that black went astray. But he turned things around. Some wonderful pots from the Northern Ireland number 1. And now he awaits either Ronnie O'Sullivan or Ding Junhui in the last 4. So that's one match in this session complete. Coming up next, it is a battle of the 2 most recent Crucible Kingpins. Kyron Wilson, the defending world champion.